Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be talking about blood center licensing process. This is TransConnect November 2024. This is a very important topic for all the DNBs and all the people who are from the management or anyways connected to the blood centers who want to learn about licensing, know how it goes, what is the infrastructure involved, what are the equipments involved, staff, the forms, the licensing application, all in a step by step manner. And this should actually be a ready reckoner for anybody who is going through the licensing process for the blood center. Hope this helps, and this has been specially requested by a lot of DNBs, so I thought we will make a special episode on this topic. All the best. Now I hand over this presentation to my colleagues who will be taking you through the step by step process for the licensing.
In setting up a blood bank, the first question is, where are we going to set it up? The basic thing that we should first look into is the infrastructure and planning. The area required for a blood bank by recommendations is 160 meters square. It can be split into 100 meters square for blood bank, 50 meters square for supporting units, and 10 meters square for apheresis. It can be rounded off to a recommended area of 2000 square feet. So for this area, we need to make a blueprint. Blueprint is made using the list of the essential rooms. The essential rooms are as follows. First is the registration for donor and the medical examination area. Next is the phlebotomy area that has to be air conditioned. Third is the blood component preparation area. Next is the immunohematology lab, followed by TTI testing lab. There should be a separate room for sterilization and washing if there is no place where it is centrally performed, like in blood banks associated with hospitals. There should be a separate donor refreshment area, another area for storing stock items and records. Next is the counseling room. The additional rooms such as apheresis room and NAT lab can also be present. Certain important points should be considered while setting up a blood bank. First thing is the hygienic location, maximum natural light. Next, when a donor comes to the blood bank, his experience should be pleasant. So the area also should be pleasant. There should always be positive pressure in the component lab. There should be adequate exhaust in places like pantry, toilets, washing area, etc. The donor area should be comfortable enough so that there is no overcrowding, no rush, no discomfort for the donor. Most importantly, the counseling area should be private and soundproof because we are revealing confidential information to the donors. As for any institute, there should always be an underlying plan made for fire safety, electrical safety, chemical, radiation, biological safety, pest control, and security.
Now, moving ahead, once we are done with the finalization of the infrastructure, let us see who should be employed in the blood bank. So the employment of staff includes as follow. There should be a director or a medical officer in charge, or medical personnel and technical supervisor, quality manager, lab technician, staff nurses, counselors, receptionists, housekeeping and cleaners. So let us see the qualification required for the aforementioned post. So for a director or a medical officer in charge, he or she should be a postgraduate degree or a diploma holder in transfusion medicine or pathology following the MBBS, or a MBBS degree holder is also eligible if who has done the regular service in the blood center for at least for at least 1 year as a medical officer working in blood center and already being recognized by the licensing authority prior to the DNC Second Amendment Act in 1999, such that the person is holding the good knowledge and experience in the serology, grouping, procurement, component preparation, etc. For the post of technical supervisor, the person should be a degree holder in the medical laboratory technology with 6 months of experience, or a degree holder in the diploma in the medical laboratory technology after 10th, 12th with 1 year experience, or higher degrees desirable as being recognized by the state, central or the state respectively. For the post of technicians, the person he or she should be a degree holder in the medical laboratory technology with 6 months experience, or a diploma holder in the medical laboratory technology with 1 year of experience. For the post of quality manager, above qualifications are required along with the quality management system training. For the post of staff nurse or who will be working as the phlebotomist in the blood center, he or she should be a diploma holder or should have done the BSc nursing course respectively.
Once the infrastructure and staff are finalized, next we should focus on the equipment purchase. First, we need to prepare a list of essential equipment required for our center. We need to discuss with dealers and obtain quotations for the same. Among the quotations, we should finalize the cost-effective and appropriate item that is needed for our center. So the list of essential equipments include those required for donor screening, hemoglobin estimation of the donor, blood collection and its storage, for component preparation, other laboratory functioning like immunohemat lab and TTI lab, additional equipment needed for biosafety and biomedical handling. We should always not forget the stationeries required like pens, papers, blood group stickers, markers, folders, registers, etc. Other miscellaneous items include refreshment given for the donors, donor badges, cards and certificates required for donor motivation, drinking water facilities and other hygiene items.
Now, moving ahead, as we are ready with the blueprint of our blood center, along with the list of staffing and the equipments, we can proceed for filing the licensing application. For that, we need to fill Form 27C and proceed for the evaluation of the same. So what all documents are required to be filed along with Form 27C? It includes a covering letter with a court fee stamp of ₹5 affixed with it, a donor questionnaire attached to it, a challan of ₹7,500, which is splitted as follow: ₹6,000 for license and ₹1,500 as a fee for inspection. We need to attach a plan and layout of the building. There has to be a declaration form attached along with it, along with the attested copies of the staff qualification, list of equipment, list of blood components for which the license is required, details and format of label, and all the standard operating procedures. Once all these documentations are ready, then we can proceed for procuring the no objection certificate from the State Blood Transfusion Council, for that in the form of Form G. Once it is being inspected by the SBTC, then it will grant the no objection certificate. Further, this application needs to be forwarded for the license to the State Drug Controller, to the Drug Controller General of India, and also to a regional office. Once this application submitted to these three respective authorities is being verified, it is then forwarded in the following sequence for further processing. That is the Deputy Drug Controller or the State Licensing Authority, and further to the Central Licensing Authority.
Once the Central Licensing Authority receives your application, the date for inspection will be finalized. Inspection of the premises will happen by an inspector. He or she will be appointed by the central government. The inspector will be accompanied by a person who is an expert in the field. After the inspection of the premises is done, the inspector will finalize a report with a list of recommendations required to the center. Now, this report will be submitted by the inspector to the Central Licensing Authority. The Central Licensing Authority will go through the inspection report and then draft a license. The license form is the Form 28C. The Central Licensing Authority will give the license to the State Licensing Authority, who will further give the license to the blood center. The license, once obtained, is valid for the next 5 years. Thank you all. Hope this video was useful and informative. Happy learning.